Hey there, welcome. Welcome to Rise and Receive. This is an opportunity in your day to stop whatever you're doing and explore how to receive your fulfillment by unlearning struggle. So today we're going to talk about the key to happily ever after. So I invite you as you settle in for this Rise and Receive to think about what's your happily ever after. Most of us have at least one, if not many things that we think, if I just get there, if I just get that thing, manifest that thing, I'll be happy forever. Like it's the thing that I need to be happy. So maybe it's about meeting the one and having that romantic relationship of your dreams. Maybe it's about getting pregnant. Maybe it's a particular career status, like a promotion, a particular job, a particular level of success. Maybe it's a magic number in your bank account, $1 million, $5 million, $1 billion. Maybe it's, writing a best-selling book. Maybe it's losing weight, getting your body to a certain sort of perfect or prized sort of a state of size or shape or fitness. And if I can just reach that goal, then I'll be happy, right? So think about what that is, what your happily ever after is. And as we go through today, I'm going to be illuminating what the key is to your happily ever after. So if you don't know me, my name is Sonia Miller. I'm a speaker, coach, and best-selling author, and I help goal-oriented people to see the blind spots that keep them from receiving their long overdue rewards. And I do this by teaching the very distinct and results-producing skill set that I call receiving. Because what I've learned after more than 2 decades as a life coach is that hardworking, goal-oriented people know how to work hard. That's our skill set. But we're not as familiar with receiving. In other words, how do you stop all the hard work, especially when your goals haven't arrived yet, and receive what you've been working so hard for? Well, what happens is if you don't know the receiving skill set, then what we do is we do more of the same. We just keep working harder and harder and harder. And so hard work or, being action oriented or setting goals is very important and very useful and very powerful up to a point. But when you're not receiving what you want, then and you're hitting your upper limit or your glass ceiling, then it's time to look at the other skill set that balances out the hard work. And that is how to stop the hard work and actually receive, because it is a skill set. So the way I do this is, as I mentioned, I illuminate blind spots. And so a blind spot occurs when your current point of view hides an essential insight. And a receiving blind spot occurs when you're operating more as a human doing versus a human being. Because when you're in doing mode, there's certain skills. And when you're in being mode, there are other skills. The being skills are all internal. So when we're human doings, we really know how to navigate the physical world, or at least that's what we're striving to do better and better and better. So we use our 5 senses, we use our mind, we take a lot of action, and that's great. If your goal is something that you're really clear about, like you know what you want, you know how to get it, you know where it is, and you can take action. It's kind of the hunter, the project manager, it's task oriented, okay? However, when it comes to goals and dreams that we don't know what we want, or we don't know how to get there, or we're still working hard and it hasn't happened, then we need to tap into the inner terrain that is all about feeling, experiencing, sensing, perceiving, awareness, sensations. Okay, it's all this inner world terrain, which is tangible in terms of producing results, just less familiar to us. And that's what we do here. We harness that. We really tap into that wisdom and that power. So the key to your happily ever after, the blind spot that I want to talk about is what I call the prize blind spot. So you might be struggling with the prize blind spot when you really think, I need to reach the prize. I need to get that prize to be happy ever after. Now here's the key. Happily ever after doesn't exist. Not the way most people think about it. Okay, what most people think about when they think about happily ever after is when I get that prize, then I'll be happy forever. But what that really implies is I'll always be happy and I'll never feel bad. And that is not life. And if you want proof of it, look at times in your life where you've reached your goals and you were happy for a while, and then there was more. There was more to be, there was more to do, there was more to want, there were more problems to solve. Okay, so what happens is, in truth, we have peak experiences when we get the prize. It's a peak experience when you reach your goal weight or you get the job or you get the promotion. So think about it. I was just talking to a client today, right? She had a peak experience in her interview. It was like she just nailed it. I mean, she just totally was shining. She was on. She's feeling really good about the interview. And even though we don't yet know she got the job, what she's very aware of is like, well, I'll either get it or I won't. But let's say she gets the dream job that she feels so good about. Well, then she's got to do the job. Let's say you meet the one, like that's your happily ever after, and you want to fall in love and get married, and you meet the one, and you have the wedding. You got the proposal, you got the wedding, you get pregnant, you wanted the baby. Then what? Now you've got a relationship, hopefully for the rest of your life, nice, long, happy life, and then you have a baby. And now, whatever the feelings were that were arising for you before, they might show up again, or new feelings, or life happens. People lose jobs and, kids get into trouble, or the school that you want isn't available. I mean, there's always something. So happily ever after, this idea that you're going to arrive, what that's really about is when we're not aware, because receiving is all about awareness, what we're really looking for is we're looking for a feeling of safety that comes from permanence or stability or constancy or reliability. That's what we're looking for. We're really looking for safety. And what's happening is we're looking for it outside ourselves. That's externalized safety. All right. So what I want to offer you is a shift. Instead of the blind spot that has you looking for the prize, to shift to looking for the experience you want to have. The experience that you want to have for the rest of your life. How do you want to feel? How do you want to relate to life when life happens? How do you want to feel in your body when things come your way that you weren't expecting? Because that's what happens in between peak experiences. So what I'd like to do is give you an alternative to happily ever after. I was really contemplating this. Okay, so let's say you're thinking of the story that says, she lived happily ever after. He lived happily ever after. They lived happily ever after. And I invite you to replace it with this. I got to look at my notes. What did I come up with? They lived ever open to good fortune. They lived ever open to good fortune. I invite you to take that on for the rest of your life. Whenever you're seeking that prize that you think is going to make you happy, shift from I'm seeking my happily ever after to I'm seeking my ever open to good fortune. Okay. Now, how do you remain open? Because the key to all of that is a state of openness and receptivity. Here's what happens. When we're seeking safety, we're going to get attached. We're going to close in. We're going to do like the hunter where we're going to capture something and we're going to have a peak experience. I got the trophy. I got the prize, but you're grabbing on. Okay. As soon as you do this, you're not open. And what happens is as soon as you get attached to something, like I really need to get that thing to be happy, the moment you get attached, you cannot receive anything new. Okay. It's closed. You got the prize, it stays on your shelf, maybe it's a trophy, but the experience, that feeling of accomplishment or winning or happiness or fulfillment, well, you might be able to look at the prize, you might be able to look at your wedding ring, you might be able to look at that number on the scale or look at yourself in the mirror and see if it's, is it still here? You're looking for the feeling, the experience. So that comes from a relationship with yourself. Shift from looking for safety outside of yourself to safety that comes from nurturing the most amazing relationship you could ever have with yourself. Because then that relationship is what provides you safety and reliability and constancy when you develop that sense of, I can count on myself. I'm going to show up for myself. I'm going to check in with myself when things happen. It's a homecoming. You keep coming home and home and home and home. And the more you practice it and the better you get at returning to yourself and nurturing yourself, that's when you get that sense of stability, which means I'm going to be okay no matter what happens. I trust myself to ask for help. I trust myself to receive help. I trust myself to listen to what my needs are. Now, if you're not used to having a relationship with yourself and showing up for yourself, it's a discovery process. But I promise you, if you look at returning to yourself and nurturing this relationship with yourself, you're finally looking in the right place for permanent and lasting fulfillment. Permanent doesn't mean you're happy all the time, but permanent means I have a permanent place that I can return to for nurturing, for fulfillment, for feeling better no matter what happens. That's what we're looking for. And that's all about remaining open to what life gives you. When you know that you can receive whatever life gives you, that you can receive your own feelings, whether they're joy and fulfillment or fear and pain, and you know how to relate to them in a way that feels safe, that's what people are looking for. We wouldn't know to ask for it, but that's what you really want. And that is the key to your happily ever after. It's not I'm never sad again, I'm never scared again. It's I can find that sovereignty by returning to myself. For the rest of my life, I can count on that. That's what you're really looking for. So, openness is all about willingness. And that's what I want to give you as you leave today, this Rise and Receive. As you think about your happily ever after and you feel attached and you want to grab it and it's beyond your control because we can't control life, stop, notice, and instead shift to ever open to good fortune. I'm going to stay ever open. I'm going to practice open through being willing. So a really simple way to direct your willingness is simply, what am I willing to receive? Just ask yourself, what am I willing to believe is possible? Just keep asking yourself. If you put your attention on what you're willing to believe is possible, rather than putting your attention on how do I get that thing, how do I get what I want, which is all grabby and attachment, what am I willing to believe is possible? Just keep exploring that question. It's a complete shift in consciousness. And again, your inner world comprises your consciousness, and your consciousness is what creates your reality. That's what makes you an invitation to the kindness of life. So I want to share with you the card that is part of today's inspiration. This is from the Receive Oracle card deck. Okay, you can get that on Amazon. Go to receivecarddeck.com and get your own. And this card is from the Receive with Ease suit. Okay, the Receive with Ease suit. This is one of 14 cards that teach receiving principles, teaches you how to receive. This one is return to yourself. So here's your mantra for the day if this message resonates for you. I am willing to discover how to receive my fulfillment by always returning to myself. I am willing to discover how to receive my fulfillment by always returning to myself. Again, if this is new to you, if these are some new concepts, then just let it be okay that you don't understand. Practice this willingness mantra, and that will just open you up. Okay, it's a discovery process. And if you'd like to learn how to really bring this into your experience and receive your fulfillment by unlearning struggle, please join the Receive community. Okay, it's here on Facebook, just facebook.com/groups/receive community. You'll have a couple questions that you need to answer to be approved. And that's a place where we practice receiving and learn all about it. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. If it was, please like, please share. It helps me reach the people that I'm here to serve. If you're on YouTube, click the red subscribe button, and I will see you at the next Rise and Receive. Bye, everybody.